Hello guys, today we are going to learn about CDM, that is Clean Development Mechanism, under the subject of energy audit and conservation. Let's see what is Clean Development Mechanism, that is CDM. The Clean Development Mechanism is one of the flexible mechanisms defined in the Kyoto Protocol by IPCC 2007 that provides for emissions reduction projects which generate certified emission reduction units. It is called as CER, which may be traded in emission trading schemes. The market crashed in 2012 when the value of credits collapsed and thousands of projects were left with unclaimed credits. The struggle about what to do with the old credits sank the 2019 COP25 in Madrid. The CDM defined the protocol. It was intended to meet two objectives. First objective is that to assist parties not included in Annexure 1 in achieving sustainable development and in contributing to the ultimate objective of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, which is to prevent dangerous climate change. Second objective is that to assist parties included in Annexure 1 in achieving compliance with their qualified emission limitation and reduction commitments, that is greenhouse gas emission caps. Annexure 1 parties are the countries listed in Annexure 1, which is we seen in the last lecture. The industrialized countries included as Annexure 1. Non-Annexure 1 countries or parties are developing the countries. The CDM addresses the second objective by allowing the Annexure 1 countries to meet part of their emission reduction commitments under the Kyoto Protocol by buying certified emission reductions units from CDM emission reduction projects in developing countries. Both the projects and the issue of CERs, that is certified emission reduction units, are subject to approval to ensure that these emission reductions are real and additional. The CDM is supervised by the CDM Executive Board under the guidance of the Conference of the Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC. The CDM allows industrialized countries to buy CERs and to invest in emission reductions where it is cheapest globally. Between the year of 2001, which was the first year CDM projects could be registered, and 7 September 2012, the CDM issued 1 billion certified emission reduction units. As of 1st June 2013, 57% of all CERs had been issued for projects based on the destroying either HFC 27, which is of 38%, or nitrogen oxide N2O, which is of 19%. Carbon capture and storage, it is shortly called as CCS, was included in the CDM carbon offsetting scheme in December 2011. However, a number of weaknesses of CDM has been identified. Several of these issues were addressed by the new program of activities, that is POA, which moves to approving bundles of the projects instead of accrediting each project individually. In 2012, Climate Change, the report Climate Change, Carbon Markets and CDM, a call to action, said governments urgently needed to address the future of the CDM. It suggested the CDM was in danger of collapse because of low price of carbon and the failure of governments to guarantee its existence into the future. Let's see the background or a historical part of the CDM. The Clean Development Mechanism is one of the flexibility mechanisms defined in the Kyoto Protocol. The flexibility mechanisms were designed to allow Annexure B countries to meet their emission reduction commitments with reduced impact on their economics, IPCC 2007. The flexibility mechanisms were introduced into the Kyoto Protocol by the US government. Developing countries were highly skeptical and fiercely opposed to the flexibility mechanisms. However, the international negotiation over the follow-up to the Kyoto Protocol agreed that the mechanisms will continue. Let's know that what is the purpose of the CDM. The purpose of CDM is to promote clean development in developing countries, that is non-annexure 1 countries. The CDM is one of the protocols project-based mechanisms. In that, the CDM is designed to promote projects that reduce the emissions. The CDM is based on the idea of emission reduction production. These reductions are produced and then subtracted against the hypothetical baseline of emissions. The baseline emissions are the emissions that are predicted to occur in the absence of particular CDM project. CDM projects are credited against this baseline in the sense that developing countries gain credit for producing these emission cuts. The economic basis for including developing countries in efforts to reduce emission is that emission cuts are thought to be less expensive in developing countries than developed countries. For example, in developing countries, environmental regulation is generally weaker than it is in developed countries. Thus, it is widely thought that there is greater potential for developing countries to reduce their emission than developed countries. Emissions from developing countries are projected to increase substantially over this century. Infrastructure decisions made in developing countries could therefore have a very large influence on future efforts to limit total global emissions. The CDM is designed to start developing countries off on a path towards less pollution, with industrialized countries paying for the reductions. To prevent industrialized countries from the making unlimited use of CDM, the framework has a provision that use of CDM be supplemental to domestic actions to reduce emissions. This wording has led to a wide range of interpretations. The Netherlands, for example, aims to achieve half of its required emission reduction by CDM. It treats Dutch companies' purchases of European Union emission trading scheme allowance from companies in other countries as a part of its domestic actions. The CDM gained momentum in 2005 after the Kyoto Protocol took effect. Before the protocol entered into force, inventors considered this, this a key risk factor. The initial years of operation yielded fewer CDM credits than supporters had hoped for, as parties did not provide sufficient funding to the EB, that is board, which left it understand. Now, let's see the CDM project process. In that, just we are going to first of all with the outline of CDM project. An industrialized country that wishes to get credits from CDM projects must obtain the consent of developing country hosting the project and their agreement that the project will contribute to sustainable development. Then using methodologies approached by the CDM Executive Board EB, the applicant industrialized country must make the case that the carbon project would not have happened anyway and must establish baseline estimating the future emission in absence of registered project. The case is then validated by the third party agency called designated operational entity, that is DOE, to ensure the project result in real, measurable and long-term emission reductions. The executive board EB then decided whether or not to register or approve the project. If project is registered and implemented, the executive board issues credits that called certified emission reductions CERs to the projects CER to the project participant based on the monitored difference between the baseline and the actual emission verified by the DOE. DOE, that is designated operational entity. Next is additionality. To avoid giving the credits to the projects that could have happened anyway, that is called as free riders. Specified rules ensure the additionality of the proposed work or proposed project. That is, ensure the project reduced emission more than would have occurred in absence of the interventional credited by the CDM. At present, the CDM Executive Board deems a project additional if its proponents can document that realistic alternative scenario to the proposed project would be more economical, attractive, or that project faced barriers that CDM helps it overcome. Current guidance from the Executive Board EB is available at the UNFCCC website. Next is baseline. The determination of additionality and the calculation of emission reductions depends on the emissions that would have occurred without the project minus the emission of project. Accordingly, the CDM process requires an established baseline or comparative emission estimate. The construction of a project baseline often depends on hypothetical scenarios modeling and it may be estimated through reference to emission from similar activities and technologies in the same country or other countries, or to actual emissions prior to project implementation. The partners involved in the project could have an interest in establishing a baseline with high emissions, which would yield a risk of awarding spurious credits. Independent third party verification is meant to avoid this potential problem. Next is methodology. Any proposed stadium project has to use an approved baseline and monitored methodology to be validated, approved, and registered. Baseline methodology will set steps to determine the baseline within certain applicability conditions, which list monitoring methodology will set specific steps to determine monitoring parameters, quality assurance, equipment to be used in order to obtain data to calculate the emission reductions. Those approval methodologies are all coded as AM. AM is nothing but approved methodology. ACM, these are the code. AM, approved methodology. ACM, code ACM. ACM is nothing but approved consolidated methodology. Next code is AMS. AMS, that is approved methodology for small scale projects. Next code is ARAM, that is afforestation and reforestation approved methodologies. All baseline methodologies approved by executive board are publicly available along with relevant guidance on the UNFCCC CDM website. If a DOE determines that a proposed project activity intends to use a new baseline methodology, and it shall prior to the submission for registration of this project activity and forwards the project or proposed methodology to the EB for review, that is consideration and approval if appropriate. And next is a very important part, that is economics, which relate with the CDM. According to the one of the literate, that is Bernieux, crediting the mechanisms like CDM could play three important roles in climate change mitigation. First is improve the cost effectiveness of GHG, greenhouse gases mitigation policies in developed countries. Second is help to reduce leakage or carbon leakage of emissions from developed to developing countries. Leakage is where mitigation actions in one country or economic sector result in another countries or sectors emissions increasing. That is, also, for example, through the relocation of pollution industries from annexure 1 to non-annexure 1 countries. And the third one, boost transfers of clean, less polluting technologies to developing the countries. Let's see the difficulties with the CDM in the field of economics. Just I would like to enlist that difficulties The first is nothing but carbon leakage. In theory, leakage may be reduced by crediting the mechanisms. In practice, the amount of leakage partly depends on the definition of baseline against which credits are granted. The current CDM approach already incorporates some leakage. Thus, reductions in leakage due to the CDM may in fact be non-existent. Next difficulty is additionality, transaction cost, and bottlenecks. In order to maintain the environmental effectiveness of the Kyoto Protocol, emission savings from the CDM must be additional. Without additionality, the CDM amounts to an income transfer to non-annexure 1 countries. Additionality is, however, difficult to prove, the subject of vigorous debate. Next is incentives. The CDM rewards emission reductions but does not penalize emission increases. It therefore comes close to being an emission reduction subsidy. This can create preserve incentives for firms to raise their emissions in the short term with the aim of getting credits for reducing the emissions in the long term. Another difficulty is that the CDM might reduce the incentives for annexure 1 countries to cap their emissions. This is because most developing countries benefit more from a well-functioning crediting mechanisms than from the World Emission Trading Scheme. Next difficulty is nothing but local resistance. While while the C in CDM stands for clean, most projects might be better defined with the B from big. From large hydropower to HFC or waste to energy and clean coal projects together make the majority of credits generated through the CDM. The arguments in favor of the CDM is that it brings development to the south. However, in all continuities, the mainly big development it stands for is resisted by local people in those countries. A global coalition of researchers published a large report on African civil society resistance to CDM projects all over the continent. In New Delhi, India, a grassroots movement of waste pickers is resisting another CDM project on what the makers call the waste war in Delhi. These are nothing but the some of the difficulties occurring regarding economics in consult with the CDM. And the last one, barriers. What are the barriers occurring to implement the CDM? World Bank describes a number of barriers to the use of CDM in least developed countries. This developed countries stands for that LDC. LDCs have experienced lower participations in the CDM to date. 4 CDM decisions were highlighted as having a disproportionate negative impact on LDCs. LDCs, that is least developed countries. First is suppressed demand. Second, treatment of projects that replace non-renewable biomass. And third, treatment of forestry projects and exclusion of agriculture under the CDM. And the last one, transaction cost and the CDM process requirements. This is whole about the CDM. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.